Hey there, lovely souls. I'm literally just sitting here to do my own personal practice and record it because ultimately, if someone else is going through something similar, then you can see how it may help you. So I'm feeling quite emotional. You can probably hear in my voice. I'm not entirely sure what it is. My dreams are certainly were most peculiar. A lot of that was to do with my childhood trauma coming up. So I feel that my nervous system is slowly allowing me to tap into that trauma because a lot of it's very visceral. It's not hugely conscious memory. And I know my nervous system has been holding it there to protect me. And I know that it's blocking me because it means there's a level of fear sitting within my system, feeding into my subconscious with what I'm doing. A lot of inner child work I have done, but it's she often is there playing in the background the strings a little bit when it comes to my adult life, and we will all have that, and we need to recognize that our inner child will be triggered a lot to be healed, rather than actually it's the reality of what was happening as a child, if this is making sense. So for me, it's been about being triggered, dropping into my inner child and my survival patterns, but as an adult, which is pushing away, restricting, closing down my voice, going mute, as it were, and holding all that in. And I can feel it like really pulsing in my throat right now. And it doesn't serve us anymore. We're here to thrive, and these old survival patterns that are being triggered, whether it's with relationships or it's with and the outside world, especially that fear of being controlled, because ultimately we're here to claim back our power, to claim back our sovereignty. And the whole victim-martyr-perpetrator triangle I see is like the last layer of humanity that is based upon fear, is moving to be released so we can truly connect to what is our truth, which is our pureness, which is love, which is joy, and which is peace. And the feeling I need to apologize, but I know I need to not apologize. This is just raw. Excuse me. So we are literally needing to shift and move this through with as much ease and grace as possible, because the more we carry the pattern of survival, of being a victim, we martyr our energy, we allow perpetrators to come in and take that power because we don't think we're equal, we don't think we're worthy. And that will be playing very deeply in our subconscious mind, especially if we've experienced that, and also in our unconscious body, where it travels through the feminine line, the suppression, the rage, the abuse, and it still goes on. It's still going on. It hasn't finished. It's still within our society, and it's that mute shame that we need to move through. So I'm just going to do a practice, see how I can regulate myself and come back into my my pure truth, my center and my ground and my axis, because I know what's coming through isn't my truth. It's just moving. It's a layer of the skin that's being released, but it's very deep within the nervous system. In fact, my skin's actually starting to dry up around my face, which often happens when I'm going through this purge. So we could call it like a snake shifting and shedding its skin, releasing those tensions that the body has held us in to protect us, but it doesn't serve us in our growth anymore. And so that's releasing, and I feel it really deep into the layers of the cells of the nervous system, the cerebrospinal fluid, which has really been coming up in clinic about bringing in this natural flow and no longer suppress it from sacrum, right, like down into the womb, the yoni, our reproductive organs, the phallus of the man, up into the brain. This is our spirit, this is our life force, and we need to claim it back. And claiming it back from a place of love, not fear, so we don't go back into fight. We come to a higher level of being, which is this very, very powerful energy of love, unconditional love. It's very powerful when you can really hold that within. So let's see if that's what we need to do. I've got Isis cards. Oh dear, stop me down. Let's see what they come up with. Oh dear, should have brought a tissue for this one. Okay, let's have a look. Just gonna think. To my highest good. Okay. Truths unveiled. The revelation of Isis. That would be about right. It's truths, everything we're feeling individually, our truths, to get back to our inner sovereignty, our power, where we need to go into the shadows to release those, to come to where the light that's within that, behind that, it's just the fear barrier of getting past it. It feels so restrictive and so real that we don't really push beyond it. So we keep within this container of fear and imprisonment of proposed safety, but it's not real. The truth is love and joy and peace. That's our real essence. This is what creates us, this conscious, this light. Light is shown to be a spark of light when the ovum is fertilized, and when a cell dies, a spark of light. We are light, and we need to remember that and keep focusing in that as our attention, as our compass, because everything else that's around that feels so real. It's so viscerally real. The brain doesn't really know what the truth really is, funny enough, as much as we think we do. Find it in a minute. I'll get my alphabet right. Truths unveiled. There are many times when appearances of people, places, and things are truly deceptive. You will sense this when something feels uncomfortable within you, when you notice feelings of anxiety or doubt within you. You may think there is something wrong with you, but actually you are intuitively sensing that all is not as it appears to be. It is wise to trust your inner feeling rather than being convinced by outward appearances. There is a situation in your life, especially involving relationships, where something is not as it is being made out to be. To avoid undue suffering later on, Isis guides you to truth and revelation now. The revelation of Isis is needed when something or someone is not as it outwardly appears to be. No matter how sacred it may seem, a spiritual person, a family relationship, a shared history, there are times when, although it is more painful to admit the truth in the short term, In the long term, it will save you much suffering and feelings of being duped, misled, manipulated, used, or abused. It will also make it more likely that the situation or relationship can grow into a healthier expression if possible. You cannot heal what is not revealed. Isis is with you now to help you realize the truths, to admit that you have probably already sensed it over anyway, and to make wise use of these revelations now. The Oracle of Truth Unveiled speaks of a time soon to come when you will realize true perception. What you thought was trustworthy, legitimate, or reliable may turn to sand, crumbling before your eyes. This may be a friendship, a job, an offer of some kind, or even the behavior of a loved one, causing you to question the real commitment or respect in a family or romantic relationship. What is important here is to realize that when you see the truth, you can act appropriately. You will not proceed with inappropriate expectations, and you can reassess your boundaries and priorities to get the most out of a situation and not suffer undue disappointment later on. It does go on. In fact, I will keep reading it. I will read it. Isis was betrayed by her brother Set, who was out of his great jealousy murdered her loved one Osiris. Now Isis was able to demonstrate great spiritual strength and healing power to resurrect her beloved Osiris, and all was not lost. She also learned a painful and valuable lesson that it is wise to take our intuitive feelings seriously and to recognize a snake in the grass when there is one. When pregnant with her divine child Horus, she ran and hid from Set, recognizing that he was destructive and dangerous, honoring what she knew and not pretending that it would all just be fine, and in doing so, her child was able to be born. In the same way, there are creative impulses and new life within you that need to be protected until they are strong enough to withstand negativity or undermining by another out of jealousy or fear. Even a close friend whom you love, who loves you, may struggle with your creative side, perhaps because they're yet to tap into their own creativity. It is best to be honest with yourself and know that sometimes, out of sense and kindness, the fragile creative beings of a project or new habit or interest need to be protected. Like Isis, you must protect that which needs it by recognizing where something or someone could harm rather than nourish new life. You have been guided with this oracle to trust your judgment about someone's motivations or intentions. If you feel something is not quite right, then give your discernment a chance to more fully form so that you can see the truth. The more emotionally detached you are, allow yourself to be, the clearer your assessment of a person's situation or likely to be. If you've been thinking that you already see the truth in a situation, this oracle is confirming of the accuracy of that perception. And that further confirmation that you are seeing something accurately will soon be seen if requested. Ask for revelation and be patient. Clear perception is imminent and will help you make wise choices. For me, this feels about the truth, being able to see and move through the trauma rather than it being within me. It also feels as a collective of individuals, we're going through a huge unearthing of greed, corruption, infrastructures, all that will be triggering us about being controlled, the fear of being controlled. And it's having the discernment of that, especially lately with the news that Facebook especially will have no form of policy to protect for free speech is completely open, which is good in a way, but it also means that the hate and everything else can still go on there, and a whole load of lies can go on there. So there's a whole lot of discernment that we need to really recognize and to start to really practice and embody in ourselves, and that comes from our heart. It's not the mind. It's not being told. We've spent, schooling and everything else is all about telling us what to think, what to do, how to think about something. It's never really an open space to play and be creative and work out throughout all of your senses. All of that will go to the back burner, especially with AI as well. We need to listen to our heart, but it has neurons the same as the brain. It's 5,000 times the frequency of the mind. Our gut has 100 million neurons. Inside it has its own brain. So we need to start to listen to these deeper parts of ourselves, our innate wisdom, to feel our truth. And we might not even be able to explain it, but we know within us. And trust is the big word. And I've always thought love and fear were the opposites, but love in itself, unconditional love, is an entity on its own. It doesn't need anything else to exist. It purely exists. And the difference between the paradox of fear is actually trust. And it's the grace, the level of grace that we use between the two. And yeah, this is about embodying a deeper sense of trust for ourselves, for our wisdom within, to be able to listen deeply. And we can only do that when we're really connected into our bodies and out of our heads, and set the intention for our minds to be the curious observer. And it's not about doing something without, and the mind's running behind going, no, please don't do this. I'm going to put the brakes on. We need to bring in coherence of the whole body, so everything feels in alignment. So there isn't this one foot on the pedal and one foot on the brake. It's just going to screw our systems up really quickly. We need to be, and we won't fully move into that state of trust if we still got all this fear running around inside us. So this is all about everything being connected and working as one together. So I'm just going to bring in the gong. I feel so much better now. Thank you. See, just talking it through is it's really powerful. Even if you don't talk to anybody else so much, maybe write it down, but having that opportunity to and space to reflect is really important. And just to honor the emotions. Sometimes we don't need to know what those emotions are. We try and understand far too much and lose the acceptance of it. So for me, it was just about really just being present with this and know that there is pain to move through, and that's okay. My body isn't trying to hurt me, it's trying to love me. That's what I believe. All pain and disease is about the body seeking reconnection, love. So as pain follows the same neural pathways as loneliness. So I think the pain and disease that we experience is when we've become disconnected to ourselves in some way. And when we've had trauma, we disconnect because it's too painful. So we shift, we move, we disconnect from ourselves on some level. Because otherwise that repeating pain, unless we've been given the gifts and the space and the wisdom to how to process and move it through, it gets stuck. So the body has to cope, and it shuts down from it. When it feels safe, when it feels ready, it can move it through. Okay, so let's see. So we're setting the intention to embody a deep, deep sense of trust, deep into the light that is within us, into every single cell of our being, to allow every single cell to receive this light if it's been shut off or closed. And we're going to use our breath to be the medium of connection to our body, to our bridge, to our autonomic nervous system, to our cells. Let's just be curious with our breath. Breathing in for your mouth, so you feel like the direction of your breath goes directly into the place that you wish to connect to. So for me, I'm breathing directly into my yoni, into my womb, into my ovaries, into my abdomen, into my kidneys, because that's where they hold so much trauma and fear, and my adrenals. I'm just going to call in and invite my body to find balance, to let go of the cortisol that is pumping through my body, which especially increases when we hit that age of perimenopause, menopause. The adrenals are really pushing so hard when we actually need to relax and soften. But then how can we when we're in a pattern of survival? So we're just calling in safety into our bodies, that sense to really feel it, even if there's total chaos around us. Invite your arms in, relaxing. Imagine you're breathing in through your pelvic floor and bringing that vibration gently up through your spine, bringing this integrity to your spine to allow the cerebrospinal fluid to flow, to move. Know that it will be shaky, and that's okay. We're clearing out. Just setting the intention, thanking your body to discern what is yours, what is not, what is pure and what is not, and to release it with the greatest ease and grace as quickly as possible, but always within comfort that you can breathe and connect to and through. Whether it's releasing out into the ground, down to the earth to be received, or is it to be released up into the universe, the light. Just allow whatever needs to be moves through with the ease and grace to the highest and greatest good. Let that go. Allow yourself to be this vessel of light that is flowing from the earth to the skies, to the stars, and to the stars, to you and to the earth. You become this vessel of flow, of sacredness, of union of earth and sky, of the masculine and feminine, that is pure, that is unconditional love. It's becoming this white light vessel. Allow the illusions to be seen, to be revealed. That is in a balance with the integrity of your nervous system. Know that you're safe to remember your truth, your light, that you're safe to connect to your body. Alakola kia haumahea sia mo mahaya sia ho mahaya si mahaya sia mohi ham mahaya ham. Omaya kia ko mahaya sia hamaha mahaya si. Bring that power and that vibration into your heart. Bring it into your heart and let your heart boom this energy out, this torus field. This power, bringing that power out as a sphere around you, filling it with light. It's discerning, it's like the atmosphere of the earth. It's just bringing anything back to dust that no longer aligns to your truth, to your love, to your joy, to your peace, to your sovereignty, to your power. Let it just burn, let it do it without your energy, where you even have to think about it. It's just happening. Feel that power, allow your heart to open, fill it with love that is already within you. This is a matter of letting go, releasing the layers, the tension, the dust that has held and restricted our light that has always been within us. Mea mo kontala si ala tolea mahala si ki, ala kotolo si ala kalala mohala si kiach mo kontala. Kia mohala si ala tolea mahala si ki, mo kontolo so kontala si kia mohaya. Mo kontala si ki, mo kontolo si ala pahala ki ala mohala si kia ala dolo mahala si kia maha. Just allow these words. These are powerful, loving words and frequency coming through. Allow your heart to receive, and the mind to be curious. Antoleala, ela tolea mahala siki, a mohontolo mahala si ala tolea mahala siki, ala tolea mahala, mohohama hihi ala kaya mohayala siki, ala tolea mohantolo hanti mohaya mohantala, ki mokontolo mohanhana la siki, ala tolea mohala siki mohanti mokontolo shikiach mohantaya. It feels like this powerful energy is breaking down these infrastructures, these walls, these beliefs that we are not worthy, that we're victims. It is just an absolute kick in the butt to literally remember the power that you are. Antolo, Hayamo Hiki, Mekiatolo Shokontala Sikia Mohanhantala, la Kia la Dolea Mohalala. Recognize the power and the life force that rises up with every single one of you, coming up from the earth into your feet, into your veins, into your systems. Feel it within your blood. Feel it within your heart. Feel it within the power within your arms and with your feet and your hands. Mea Khuntulo. Hala talia mohaya si ki ambo kontala ki como holo kolasiala ki amo kontomo shikiala dene mohayaya. And with that, this force of energy comes down and it shatters these illusions. Let the dust settle. Let the revelations reveal themselves in all due time. For now, just allow yourself to be within you, calling in the sunlight to clear through the dust, through the mist we imagine on a sunny morning. As that mist just fades, just keep calling in that warmth and that nourishment, focusing on what you wish to bring and feel and be in this world. To invite love, joy and peace and your power and your sovereignty back now, from this very moment now. Maya siya moya komaha maya Matea, Uchatea, Maya Yasia Maya Kumaha. Just bring in the beautiful spiral of light that is just wrapping around you, where you really feel that sense of calm and peace. And just gently come back. Let's bring our palms together with our thumbs against the heart. In fact, I just want to curl myself into my heart. Just really giving it so much gratitude and grace, and just gratitude of holding me through all of this. To know that we're not alone, that everything we need is already within us. And yes, there's huge revelations to come within ourselves, within the collective. And the key for us is to keep our ground, keep our axis, to hold that discernment within us. And we can only do that when we're in our bodies. It'd be ping pong in the brain otherwise. So, and when there's something that's triggering you and bringing you fear, you can ask yourself, like, can I do anything about this? Thank you for this awareness of this is happening. Is it the truth? And know that when a negative exists, so does the positive. It has to. This is the rules. The atoms, the proton, the electron, the neuron. You need opposites to exist apart from love. That's the only thing that doesn't abide to that rule. And unconditional love, not the perceived love that we think love is, because it's just been so muddled up with our own wants and needs amongst it. But unconditional love is an entity on its own. So doing practices like this, you can listen to this as often as you like. And if you need more information about the victim-martyr-perpetrator, understanding that more, how that sits within the body, the rage that will sit within our bodies, especially in the female line. I'm not saying this isn't for men as well, but women especially, because it's held within the womb, within the yoni, where all that abuse and misuse of power sits. And we have this rage that wants to come out, especially through menopause, because it's asking us and calling us to step up into our power, and all these keeping the peace, to sacrifice one's peace to keep the peace, the people pleaser, all that crap, that martyr energy where you just become a clapped out Cinderella, is all coming up to say you are not in your power when you're behaving in these social conditioned ways, which are so ingrained in our systems, to come more into our feminine energy. But to do that, we need to trust the masculine and to be able to hold that space for us. So we have to heal our masculine wounds, the distrust, the misuse, to be able to hold that masculine within us to support us to move safely into our feminine, if this is making sense. So if you want to know more about this, go to the infinityhealthhub.com. That's the infinityhealthhub.com. And this is where I've been putting my musing, my meditations, all that has been coming up for me for the last, 4 years. It's journaled, it's information, it's using my knowledge and wisdom of the body in the practices that I use, but it's also channeled coming through in terms of especially full moon releases. Always gets shown to me what's happening, what the collective also need to release, and I feel this is formed part of it already. So it's a free 7-day trial. Why not experience it, see if it resonates with you, and then go from there. So thank you for listening. I feel so much better, which is great. So you can hopefully see how connecting and honoring and holding space for your emotions, you can move it through. You don't have to keep that loop going. You know, you break that pattern. That's your power. You're an alchemist. And that's why fire and rage is really powerful, because it's the fire that if you're conscious with it, you can alchemize, because underneath that is a voice saying, I deserve better, which may have been a voice that you've never heard before in your vocab, in your mind. So let that rage come through. There's meditations for this, there's affirmations for this, and it's doing it consciously. It's not acting out towards somebody else with rage. That's fear again. But if you're doing it consciously for yourself, that's love. That's an act of love. So yeah, that's again discernment of how you act with that emotional state. So thank you for listening, and all the best. We've got a bit of a rocky dynamic energies to shift through, but this is all for us to step into our powers, our sovereignty. So anything that isn't in alignment to that will be revealed. So lots of love, take care, and look after yourselves.